guys. This week you have 4 days of work to do, and so you'll notice that the fifth day, which is iStation practice, is not there. You can do iStation practice, but it's not required this week. The main goal for the whole week is that you would be able to solve math problems that have more than one step, okay? So you're actually not doing any work or solving any problems that are any more difficult necessarily than you've done before. In other words, the adding is not going to include numbers that are larger, and maybe the multiplication is not going to be any harder. But the thing that's going to make it a challenge is that you know you've got to do more than one thing to get the right answer. Maybe you have to add and subtract. Maybe you have to add and multiply. So on the first day's work, it's going to be adding and subtracting, or maybe adding twice, or maybe subtracting twice. On the second day's work, it's going to be problems that are multiplying and dividing. Okay? Now, the third day is where it gets really fun, because on the third day, you put it all together and it could be adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing. You don't really know. So it's going to be incredibly important as you read the problems. There's going to be words in the problem, and you're going to see problems that kind of look like the types of problems that maybe your mom and dad solve in real life, or maybe you solve in real life. But as you're reading them, remember that you can get someone to read them to you, or you can use the little ear button on your computer to have it read it to you. Okay, because it's going to be really important you understand what it's asking of you. That's going to be the biggest part. There used to be this thing in math that teachers would tell their kids to do, and you're looking at it right here, and it's called cubes. We would tell kids to circle the numbers because there'd be so many words and numbers on the page, it would be confusing. So we would say circle the numbers, underline the question. So in other words, look for where it's telling you to do something or asking you a question and underline it. Box any math action words. We're going to look at what that means in a minute, but those are kind of your clue words in math. Evaluate. What steps do I need to take? That's where you get to kind of be like a detective and decide, what am I supposed to do? What steps am I supposed to take? And then last is where you solve it. But because this is on your computer, I don't want you to get a marker and like circle the numbers on your computer screen. That would be silly, right? But you can get your finger and circle the numbers, and that'll draw your attention to them. If you have a way to write it down or to print it out, you can do that. Circle the numbers, underline the question. But the biggest thing is that you just stop your brain from going too fast, slow down, and pay attention to those numbers. Pay attention to the question that it's asking you to solve, and pay attention to any keywords. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on what they call keywords, but I do want to show them to you. Sometimes keywords can make a kid miss a problem because they think it's like every time this word means to add or this word means to subtract. The main thing is just think about it. If I were doing this, what would I want to do? If I were going to be cutting string, what would I want to be? I would want to be cutting it up, dividing it up, right? But there are some words that usually mean that I should add or subtract. Not every time, but usually. And here they are. You're looking at them right now. For subtraction, and I'm not going to read all of these to you, but some of the biggest ones you're going to see, if something is going to be like how much more, if you see that, how much more, or how many more did I have? That's a lot of times subtraction. Or I went 3 miles and she went 5 miles more than me. That's a lot of times going to be subtraction. Okay. Obviously, you know that if it says less than or something like that, that would be subtraction. Addition, when you're putting some things together, that's going to be addition all together. The sum, that's the answer to an addition problem. And you already know perimeter is addition. Multiplication, anytime you think that you're doing something again and again and again and again and again, repeatedly, and it's the same amount each time. So like if I have 4 boxes of pencils and every time each box costs $5, that's going to probably be multiplication. In fact, you're going to see a problem that involves boxes of pencils. So that word each can kind of be an example of, really, it has it over here for division. It can be multiplication or division. But definitely double, twice, these are multiplication words. And then over here for division, just think about it. If you're splitting something up or dividing it up, you're using division. Okay? So I'm actually going to stop this video. This is just kind of an introduction or an overview to giving you a little pointer or a heads up to what this week is going to be about.